What's going on, people? Welcome back to the match preview as we look ahead to the game against Wolves before the international break. I'm joined by the usual crew, AJ, T, and Stan. As always, we want you involved, so let us know your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below, and make sure to keep in tune till the end of the show as we make our predictions once again and have a up-to-date point tally with two people getting the right points from last week in terms of score predictions. Now, gents, let's get started quickly. Mention to Plymouth game, of course, because it happened recently. I'll start off with you, AJ. Look, we're 2-0 down, came back to win 4-2. I guess that shows the character of the squad, but it was quite worrying listening to that game because no one could watch it. What do you make of it all?
Surprising. It was looking dire, as you can see by my tweets. I was not an happy bunny. First half, I was talking all kinds of smack, talking about Steve Parish, get out of my club, the usual. And by the second half, I blink. I was refreshing the Sky Sports app, and the next thing Mateta decides to put on a Ballon d'Or performance. So, tell Leipzig the price has just gone up in it. You get me? So, man, it was good to relieve. I think it's concerning, though, because reality of the situation is those young players that did come into the squad, that says to me that they may not be quite ready yet. And it also does say to me that we need a couple reinforcements to get things over the line before Friday. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so at the time of recording this, it's still Wednesday evening, so nothing's been announced so far in terms of transfers. Even Dean Henderson hasn't been in our sphere, but maybe in you lot's world by the time it's posted, we got 2 free signings. So keep that intact while I was watching this. So Stan, I think AJ made a very good point, and it's what everyone was thinking. Look, we managed to have the character to have a comeback to beat Plymouth, but I guess it shows the lack of depth in the squad as well, because let's be honest, it was our first team regulars that saved us against Plymouth.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it wasn't Plymouth's first team either. Let's be real. Like, they made 9 changes. So it would have been a bad loss had we not pulled it back. But listen, it was a good comeback. I think it goes to show you, like, our first 11, when all fit, is actually really good, actually quality. But our strength in depth isn't really there at the moment.
So, yeah, T, looking ahead to the Wolves game now, a bit more focus on Wolves. Can you understand why Roy hasn't played some of these plays then? I mean, was it a case of, look, the rotated plays, it didn't quite work out. I'm not saying everyone was horrible, but, we had to make subs. And as soon as we made the subs, you saw it, the game flipped. Do you kind of understand some of the plays that we've been calling for, why they haven't been playing then?
Somewhat, yeah. I think the hardest thing in a match like this, with like we had in the cup match, with making that many changes, is chemistry. I think one of the biggest issues that we were seeing was chemistry between the players on the pitch playing together. You know what I mean? So when you bring guys in like Eze and Ayu and guys that know each other a lot better, have played a lot more minutes together, things click a lot quicker. So I think it could be a fact that, some of those guys that got the opportunity to start could still get a decent chance to play. It's just that, I think they need to be with more of the first team guys that we're used to seeing, to see them actually have a better performance out there.
Yeah. Look, I think it's the first half and basically until the subs happened, the second half as well, it was worrying. I think it was worrying. We can talk about chemistry, but as Stan mentioned, they had a rotated squad as well. So if you put that into consideration, it's a bit worrying that our B team couldn't compete with Plymouth's so-called B team as well. And I think we have got the talent there. Maybe it is a chemistry issue, but then again, some of these players, they just need to step up in these type of games if they do want opportunities. But look, looking into the Wolves game, someone actually asked a question. I think it was the Eagles Beak on Twitter. What rating would you give start of the season so far? I said I'll give it 8 out of 10. It might sound a bit too high, but if you got a point against Arsenal so far in terms of my prediction and how I want the season to go, I've been happy. I've been very happy with the results. If you got a point against Arsenal, that would have been 10 out of 10 for me, considering the lack of depth and injuries as well. But AJ, going into this game, how are you feeling? Like, how are you feeling about the season so far? How are you feeling about Wolves? Is it a game that you are expecting us to go get 3 points, or would you be fine with another point? Like, because they're another side that, had a really good cup win against Blackpool 5-0, but they have been struggling in the league.
Yeah, I think I'm actually pretty impressed with the start. I thought the most important thing was getting the first 3 points, which we did manage to do the first game of the season. Then we had a really, really tough challenge against Arsenal, and to be fair, a respectable point against Brentford. However, if we are serious about making this top 10 jump or making that transition to the top 10, a game like Wolves, we have to take advantage and we have to get the 3 points no matter what. And we have to get those points early. Wolves are in a dire situation from the whole structure all the way down. It looks like they could potentially be losing even more players, and they still are struggling to balance their books. They are putting together a decent 11, and they are sort of putting in effort. I've watched them against Man United, I think it was, earlier in the season, and they're not pushovers. We're not going to go in there and smack them 6-7-0. That's just not going to happen. But we've got enough in our locker and our tank to really, put the atmosphere on them at Selhurst. It's a Sunday afternoon game. I think we can get a good result, easy. I don't think Wolves should be giving us that much of an issue, personally.
We'll talk about Wolves players to watch out for, but I do think it'll be a tight game. Look, let's not say our score predictions yet. Let's keep it to the end of the show. I think it's going to be funny when we talk about last week's score predictions and what happened in the Brentford game, because certain people on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, they were crazy optimistic. They were crazy optimistic. I wonder if that optimism goes into this game as well. But look, I agree. I think, I've gave it 8 out of 10 so far, but we need to get 3 points if we want to have something exciting. Get a good cup run going, do well in the league, just keep taking it game at a time. And I love that phrase. I don't know why I'm going to use it this season. Game at a time. I'm not looking at the game after Wolves yet. Literally, at home, we should be trying to beat them. It won't be easy, but that's what we should be trying to do. But I'll be honest, another thing that's not going to be easy is if Mateta is to stay at Palace, what is going to happen with him? Coming off a hat-trick. The last time Palace players scored a hat-trick was back in 2015, which is scary. And I was there. Sunderland away from home. Crazy game. But look, let's talk about Mateta then. Is he back? Before we talk about whether we should be starting against Wolves. Is Mateta back? Is he firing now? Has everything been solved? Stan, you're laughing, but what do you think?
I think he found his level yesterday, lads.
I think he found his level.
Listen. Like, we go at it with Patrick all the time, all of us in that chat. He has scored some big goals for Palace. You can never, ever take that away from him. Like, he actually, the goal that he scored against Leicester last season turned our season around, right? That was the kickstart to turn it around. And he scored a couple of other big goals as well. So you can't begrudge him that. Listen, I've seen him play, and we all have, and he's frustrating as hell. And, he had a little bit more time on the ball. I think he was just a little bit sharper than a couple of those Plymouth players. And, he probably didn't have VAR because he's born offside, the fella, isn't he? But,
listen, for a guy who's got a hat-trick, you're slating him a bit too much. But I'm not involved.
No. Listen, fair play to him. He scored a hat-trick yesterday. I don't think he's back at Premier League level, personally, and I hope that we bring in some reinforcements, because if you're relying on him, good luck.
Yeah, T seems a bit mad. T, have you calmed down from Stan's comments? I can see your face. You're getting a bit mad about Mateta slander.
No. I was a little bit mad because my phone, it was acting funny. No, I'm kind of along the same lines as Stan though. Like, I'm not ready to crown Mateta the guy or in form or on fire after a performance against Plymouth Argyle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not. I mean, don't get me wrong. A hat trick in any professional football match is impressive. Let me not take away from his accolades, his accomplishments. But for me personally, with moving forward and coming back to Premier League play and things, I'm not necessarily, going to, just bestow everything upon him. I mean, does he maybe deserve more minutes or a shot, or maybe we need to look into, trying to incorporate him in some way if possible? Maybe so, but do we still need reinforcements in the squad? Absolutely as well. So I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for his performance, but more is still needed.
What I'll say about our strikers in general, the pair of them, actually, before we go any further, is they are not link-up play strikers. We need a link-up play centre forward, someone who can link the play. The two of them, they are like, if you feed the ball in front of them, etc., they'll probably put the chances away. They will. But if you're looking for someone to link up play, hold it up, that's neither of those two.
Yeah, look, I agree with that, and I think we're trying to get a different kind of striker in terms of like Iheanacho links and Che Adams and other strikers as well. They've been familiar in terms of their game and what we expect. I think we're expecting like a fast striker who's comfortable with the ball on his feet, but maybe by the time of this getting posted, we might have got that striker already. So I don't want to talk too much about transfer news. But the one thing that I do want to ask is about in this game, Mateta should be knocking on the door and will be knocking on the door and say to Hodgson, let me start. Is it as easy as that? Do you think Mateta should be starting over Edouard after scoring a hat-trick? AJ, you're saying no, but how comes? Because look, he's got a hat-trick.
The only thing he needs to be doing is knocking on the door and telling, here's my keys back for my locker. I'm off to Leipzig. That's it.
That's harsh, though. He's just got a hat-trick.
I don't care, bro. I don't care. He needs to, listen, right?
So how
Mateta, right? I don't care, bro. Look at me. I don't care. Right,
so,
and hear me out, bro.
How does it win?
How does he win?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How does Mateta win?
Yeah, he scored a hat-trick.
I'll tell you exactly how Mateta won. He put the price tag up nicely. Hopefully, them scouts offered in Germany are going to make the offer for the 12 to 14 mil. And he's going to get out the door, and then I'm going to go get my Iheanacho, bro. Like, that's how I see it. So, at the end of the day, right? The thing with Mateta is he's a cult hero. And he's had some very iconic moments, yeah?
Yep.
I cannot take that away from him, and I never will. But sometimes you have to sell when the stock is high. The stock ain't getting any higher than this, and I'm not prepared to wait. Nah, bro. Hey, Stan, listen.
He said it's not going to get any higher. Than
Thank you. Exactly, T. Tell them.
It's not going to get
the stock ain't getting higher than this. So I'm going to cash in
matches before the window closes. So
exactly.
Now,
I'm not waiting another 8 months of 1 goal every 6 games, rude boy, for me to start getting gassed and it's you have to sell while the stock is higher, bro.
Okay, so what if he's here?
There are teams that are willing to pay the 10 mil, the 15 mil, whatever it is. I don't care. Let them be sold. We'll accept the memories. Thank you very much. But I want my new nice shiny striker, bro.
I actually think we need to keep him here. We need 3 strikers.
So exactly. So
Gordon can play there, bro.
So he's going Oxford United or something.
Gordon.
I thought for a second you said Woody. I was like, geez, I don't know what you be smoking.
What, Wardinho? Wardinho, listen.
I've seen enough at right, but I thought you were gonna say Woody out front. I was gonna be like, bro, it might be time to jump off.
Listen, I think get me suspended.
Yeah.
Get me sectioned after that one, mate. Reality of the situation is, right, we have to be smart about this. You know, it's better we just sell him now, get a decent cut for him, rather than have another 12 months of, very mishmash performances and then not get anything out of him come towards the end. Yeah. I think we just need to be a bit clever here. If we've got an opportunity to get Iheanacho, and you know what, even a Che Adams I think is better than him on his day. I'd rather take that. I feel like an Iheanacho or Che Adams would give Edouard much more to worry about than Mateta himself. And that's not me discrediting the player he is, because once again, he's definitely a cult hero and he's definitely had his iconic moments for us. But thank you for the memories. It's time to cash in. You have to be a bit smarter about this. This is the time to cash in for him. Let's do it.
Let's say, Stan, let's say that it was a case of him staying at Palace past his land day and he's just got a hat-trick against Plymouth. Do you think he should start over Edouard? I feel like you could have that discussion. No. You could. No. You can, because he scored a hat-trick. No. How come you're saying no then?
Because I told you he found his level yesterday, mate. He's not.
Yeah, but Edouard didn't score 3 goals. Edouard didn't score 3 goals. So he might have found his level. Then what did Edouard do? I'm playing the devil's advocate here. Yes, I am. But I'm just saying, we're saying he's found his level, but Edouard only scored a goal. Okay. As good as Edouard has been.
If he starts, I'm giving you on Sunday 15 minutes until you start complaining in the chat. I'm giving you 15 minutes.
I'm not saying he should start. I'm just asking a question.
Can I weigh in on this? Can I weigh in on this?
Yeah.
I think, but personally, like if we're like you said, if we're setting it up and come Saturday or Sunday, he's on the squad. He does get moved. He's a part of the squad. And let's say we don't get another striker, I think you start him with Edward.
But who do you take out? Schlupp.
Schlupp. Or just Schlupp. Easily.
Interesting.
Because here's the thing, and there's been plenty of information that's been out there, statistics, and just from watching ball. Edward plays better, performs better in a 2. When he was at Celtic, as you can see, when they actually play really good together, apparently, looking back at stats, that when they played together up top, they scored 6 goals together and combined. And I think there's only been like in 3 matches or 4 matches, something crazy like that. So I think maybe we try playing them together rather than starting one or the other. Just an idea. But
But then my rebuttal to that straight away would be once Elise and Franca do get fit, how does that work?
But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Sunday. The question about Sunday.
Yeah.
True, but then I'm just thinking going forward, you then got a lanky Mateta sitting on the bench until his opportunity comes. You see what I'm saying? It's it's not ideal.
Let us know what you guys think in the comment section as well.
But what did you say earlier? You said that those two, we might not see them till November. So that's a significant amount of time that we don't have them, that we could be using this type of setup. And then, eventually when they get back, of course, they'll find their way back into the squad, things like that. But by that time, we might be into the winter window. And then
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
You could be talking about making a move then. So I don't know, just a thought. But I mean, for Sunday, with all the variables in place, if he's still on the squad, if we don't have another striker that we prefer more, maybe you try something like that.
He might even not be a Palace player come Sunday. So we'll see. Let us know in the comment section down below what you guys think about the Mateta situation. If he is to stay, should he start over Edward? Now, let's quickly look at the league table. We haven't done it yet, but it's the first preview. I thought might as well look at it. At this point, I know it's still very early days, but I'm not going to look at the league table in terms of where we can end up and all of that. But yeah, I'll quickly mention it. If we was to win, we could go up to second. A draw could have us 9th, and a loss.
We could go second.
Yeah, well, potentially. Yeah, exactly. But look, I don't want to talk about the league table because, that's not. It's still early days, and after 10 games, we'll see where we are. But based on our start to the season so far, Stan, has your expectations changed on what we can achieve?
I'll be honest. I was thinking about this today, actually. My expectation hasn't really changed. I just think, what's it called? That if we get a result against Wolves, I think we'll have had a really good start to the season. I don't think we could, apart from a point against Arsenal, I don't think we could ask for much more, really. Obviously, a draw at Brentford, that was always going to happen. We obviously beat Sheffield United, through to the next round of the Cup. Mateta scored a hat-trick, and if we beat Wolves, then I don't think we could be. There's too much to complain about. Just get some bloody players in.
Exactly. That's literally it. And by this time next week, or by this time when we face them, then, we won't have this talk about players coming in because it'll be all done. The window will be shut, thankfully, after a long few months, literally, about players leaving, joining. But look, in their last 3 games that they've played in the Premier League, they lost 1-0 to Man United. That was a very unfair result, I thought, watching that game. They were actually solid. They lost 4-1 to Brighton, and they beat Everton 1-0 in the most recent Prem game, and they had the League Cup game against Blackpool, which they beat them 5-0. But look, for me, I think Wolves are a side where they've got technical players, they've got quality, but they haven't got players up front to finish their chances.
Neither have we.
Yeah. Well, you can have the argument. Yeah, you are right. You can have the argument. And that's why when we go to score predictions,
we've got got 2 in 2.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. But when we go to score predictions, Stan, I'm not expecting another 3-4-0 based on what you just said. Yeah, keep it intact. But remember, you said the same thing. Like goals, I'm not expecting that many in this game. But what have you lot made of Wolves and their threats in the side? I think Cunha is one of them in midfield, running out of defense. But I feel like our defense should be solid enough to try and keep a clean sheet against them. Am I being too optimistic, AJ?
They're quite creative, aren't they? Because I think their midfield and attack is the only. I mean, their defense doesn't really worry me. I mean, they've got Kilman. He's not bad. They've got Nunes, Mateus Nunes.
Well,
He's on strike.
Well, allegedly he's about to sign for City, so that just takes one more threat, and then they got players like Lamina and that. But I don't know, man. I can't imagine them coming to sell us and dominating us. I just can't see it. But you're right. They have got that new striker that seems to be, hitting the form at the right time for them. But I don't think it's going to last. I think, unfortunately, it's looking kind of dire for them. And I think, to be fair, between them and Everton the other day, it was almost like they had an early relegation battle. I feel like they're going to be in real trouble because they're 1 or 2 injuries away from everything falling apart. Unless they pull their finger up. If they beat us, they beat us, and I'll hold the L, innit? I'll hold the L.
If they beat us, then I guess we're in trouble as well because the way you described them.
If we get beaten by Wolves, then boy.
Yeah, I mean, Gary O'Neill, I'll be honest. I spoke to Dave from Talking Wolves. The opposition preview should be out tomorrow if you're watching this. But yeah, I do think that they have a solid squad. But yeah, there's questions about the manager, about even their most recent result against Everton. I mean, Everton created chances. They just didn't have finishers in the side to score a goal. And then in the second half, they managed to get the goal in the last minute and win like that. And if you're not beating Everton as comfortably, then questions can be raised there. I'm coming from a Palace fan that lost 3-0 to Everton last year away from home. But yeah, look, they've had some solid games, but I think at home we could get a result done against them. I mean, our most recent head-to-head games, they beat us 2-0 at their ground. We beat them 2-1 at our ground. And then before that, we beat them 2-0 at their ground, and we beat them 2-0 at our ground. I think that was under Patrick Vieira. So there's been goals, funny enough. At least 2 goals. Once there was 3 goals in the last 4 games. So T, in terms of like, we're going to talk about score predictions. In terms of Palace and finding them goals, as I said, there's been like 2 goals. We scored 2 goals at our ground last year. Who can you see getting them goals? I think it's going to be another big test on Eze because look, he came on against Plymouth, done well, but also Jordan Ayew. Ayew has been very good to the start of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would definitely put each of them down for some type of goal contribution in this coming match, whether it be an assist or a goal. Definitely can see Eze getting on the goal chart now. And then hopefully somebody like Edward or maybe Mateta gets a goal. But, I definitely see us getting at least a couple, to be honest with you.
They said Edward and Mateta. Maybe I start flying as well. I mean, if both of them get a goal, then I might.
Edward, Mateta, Ayew, Eze, 4-0 Palace.
That's why Stan is gonna have like 0 points in this match in the score predictions table.
I really saw it as more of like an either or. Either Edward can get one or Mateta can get one. But I think there's going to be some goals in this game. Not a whole lot, but I think that I think that we can come out and give a solid performance.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going to sort out a graphic in terms of the match preview league table. We started it last week. So 2 people managed to get the right result. That was me and T. We managed to predict the 1-0, which we did do against Brentford. Stan predicted a 3-0 Palace win. So he gets 0 points. And also AJ predicted a 2-1 Palace win. So the latest standing is literally simple. Me and T on 3 points because how it works, correct score and outcome 3 points, correct outcome 1 point. And AJ and Stan on 0 points as they got the outcome wrong as well. Now, this week's prediction, I'll start off. I'm going 1-0 Palace. At home, I'm expecting us to get 3 points. If we want to have an exciting season, we need to try to beat Wolves at home. It won't be easy, but I think we can keep a clean sheet against them. So I'm going to go 1-0. So let's go around. Let's start off with you next, AJ. So 1-0 Palace, I'm saying. What are you saying? Because you're on 0 points, so you need to be careful with your predictions. You want to try to pick up points early on. You don't want to be in a relegation fight.
I'm like Palace, mate. I'll do the comeback. I'll be comfortable. Don't worry about that. I'm comfortable.
It's only the first game of the season. It's fine. 2-0 Palace.
2-0 Palace, mate.
All right, cool. Stan?
And 2-1 Palace.
All right. 2-1 Palace. T, me and you both got it right last time around. Are you going to stick with the same score prediction that I had?
I got to go with Stan. I got to go 2-1 Palace.
Okay, you might get score prediction right again, but this time you might be sharing points with Stan. Fair enough. I'm gonna. If I get it right, then that'll be good. I guess everyone, based on a score prediction, if Palace do win, everyone is getting a point, so we all balance out there. I think the outcome is interesting. Stan and T could potentially get 3 points, of course. Both of them, but AJ said 2-0, and I said 1-0. But let us know your score predictions in the comment section down below. And if you have enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, people. We're so close to 4,000. Helps us out massively. Thank you to everyone who's been watching this. And until next time, keep safe, people, and up the Palace.